What's going on, traders? Welcome back to day 14. We got the sweater out. Or is it a sweater? It's a crew neck with a bow tie, but it's looking good. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. But welcome on back to the 25 Days of Trading YouTube series. I appreciate you guys tuning in every day. Reminder to subscribe so you don't miss the next day's video. Every morning at 11 a.m., I'll be dropping the next day's video all the way through Christmas. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you haven't seen the previous videos, go check them out after this. We got a good one in store for today of having to identify our key levels and how to trade off them more specifically. And now, of course, I do go into much depth in my Futures 2.0 course of how I trade these key levels of this New York VWAP, News VWAP, all time high, everything you can imagine, as well as our structural levels of a yesterday's high, yesterday's low, today's high, New York high, all these different levels. There's too much to mention. But to this one, we're just going to keep it simple, repeatable, and like I said in the beginning, simple. We don't want to overcomplicate it and have all these drawings on our chart, all these levels that we have to take into account every day. Just slim it down, focus on 1 to 2, and find repeatable setups that fit our plan. So, a reminder, if you do want to adopt my plan after this video or during this video, like I mentioned on ASFX TV, the Futures 2.0 course is on there where you can get 25% off if you're watching this in December. You could use code XMAS to get 25% off your first month to get access to the two courses as well as all the daily live streams where we take these trades live that you're going to see here in a minute. But let's get right on into the charts, shall we? Right onto trading view here. The levels we're going to look at, these red ones, are going to be the initial bounce. So I just have the indicator on for the past 50 days just to keep it simple and quick. And then the black ones are going to be the opening range. And then you can see, like on a day like today, they're going to be on top of each other. If I hover it, because the opening range low and initial bounce low were set at the same time, which is often what it sometimes is, because you can see the open range high and initial bounce high that was spread out at different times. But regardless, let's talk about our key levels. The one good thing about it with the edge full indicators, it does it for me. Like I mentioned, you can go back 50 days, you can go probably back even further. It draws these levels for me each and every day. It paints them accurately and correctly that I don't need to worry about putting them on, remembering to put them on, where to put them on. They're just always consistently there. But while it's fresh, looking at today's price action to show you that it's not just something I did 2 weeks ago, did it today, that we have a choppy New York Open to start. We can do whatever we want in there. But once we're out, if you see my streams, you know I want to get outside this opening range or initial balance. We have a key retest off the initial balance low first here. You could take that. It's a small pullback, which I don't love if you've seen the course, which hopefully you have. I'm going to say it a lot in this video, I'm sure. But over here, the second retest of that initial balance after giving a nice deeper pullback, we'll obviously put on that lower day VWAP and wait for sellers to take that over. And if you take that short, you do suffer maybe slight drawdown, but it's really just creating a lower high underneath that New York or underneath that lower low of day VWAP, and it falls for you beautifully. Trading off that key level rather than chasing it when it's at a new low a day, not off anything, not trading off a key level. If you want to be consistent and trade off a key level, we can't be chasing these moves outside of it. Let's just go to the day prior. Had a great lessons on this day. Same thing. The initial balance is probably going to be our level today, just with such a strong drop off, and that's fine. Rather than taking trades not off any key level, could it move lower? Will it move lower sometimes? You know the answer is yes. But what does it probably want to do? Or what does it do 8 times out of 10, 7 times out of 10? Because I'm not concerned about winning today if it only wins 3 out of 10. So you could take the first break and retest of the initial balance. This is on a 2 minute, so you can maybe go to the 1 minute, find a little bit better structure, but it still applies here on the 2 minute. Here's our nice full retest after this long, deep pullback. After the strong sell off to start the session, we're just getting a healthy breath in this bearish trend. Same thing, we put on the lower day VWAP. Could we have taken the break here on the lower day? You could, but what is it not off of? It's not off a key level. This one's off a key level of initial balance low. One more, let's put on that New York VWAP. Wow, it's bouncing right off of that. So now we got two levels off each other of a key VWAP and a key level, followed by a break of lower day VWAP. Then you're able to catch a nice short back to that lower day. There you go. There's another example just the day prior. How to do it every day this week. Let's go back to Friday. Strong pop open. Right above open range high. It actually sets the initial balance just all in the first hours, all up. Because now we got a strong, wide initial balance. But let's put on the New York VWAP for that day. What is it looking like? Right here at 9:30. That could we take maybe this small pullback? I'm sure someone did trying to chase this move higher after it already went higher. That it pulls back to open range high, New York VWAP break, high day VWAP break, and we're able to find that popping higher. So instead of the initial bounce, we're going to use the open range high in this one. That's all right. They both apply, so it doesn't matter which one it is. I'm just looking to trade off a key level. And then when it's off a key VWAP as well, like this day specifically, even better. And now you could definitely, if we're not going to use key levels of a horizontal level like the initial bounce or opening range high, that's fine. But I still want to at least have a key level of a VWAP, which could be any of these retests you have back here, still building higher lows even later on in the session, buying the bounces off that key level retest, right? Rather than chasing. This isn't in no man's land. You can see it's right off that red initial bounce. So you'll take maybe a deeper pullback on this one and lose. I'm not going to say it's 100% win rate. But if we put on a high day there, it is taken out. You can say it's a break and retest of initial balance high and it loses. Fair play. You caught me. We took a loser. That's all right. Let's go to the day prior. Pretty ugly. Yikes, yikes, yikes. With this one, mentioning those bigger pullbacks, yes, this is off open range high, but buyers never take control on a break of high day, so you shouldn't be induced to look for more longs. Or if they could have taken it out somewhere over here, then yeah, let's take that back higher, but sellers actually step right back in. Now, with this day, I wouldn't really say you probably make money off a key level because let's just be honest, this price action is terrible. That isn't moving lower? Yes. Did it stop everyone out at higher day first? Yes. Is it pulling back every time it makes a new low to a key level? Yes. It keeps on returning to this initial balance low every time it gets away from it. So, not really finding runners on that day. Oh well, Evan must have lied to me. Let's go back to the previous day, because not every day is going to be on. Put on a New York VWAP here. We got the open range high in black. I remember this trade. I took this trade off the New York VWAP following the second break of this opening range high. So I'm trading off a key level there. But then even later on, ah man, I missed the move. Well, you could take, I'm going to say this one, because it's the healthier pullback to the New York VWAP, to the initial balance high and breaking back above it now. You could long it there. Or, of course, let's just be non-hindsight bias. This is a small pullback off the initial balance high. But again, I don't love those ones. They're just not very deep. But it is off a key level, so we're going to go with it. That would be a valid entry. You could see more drift from there. Maybe it's just too overextended at that point because it's a strong move up. This is a 2-minute chart. Lots of gray space in between it. And it doesn't run immediately, but just overall on the day, where's your best option? Buying it at this initial balance high price. Buying it there would pay. Buying it here would pay. Buying it off that level would pay. Buying it off that level would pay. Now, with this one, it's a matter of does this stop you out? And does this stop you out? Now, we know that was the price to buy it at off that red line, that initial balance high. But when did we buy it at that price? And where was our stop loss is going to determine if we make money, of course. So if I could see it fully retest to here and then play the bounce after, well, then I know that's where I want my stop because that's the structure that's been painted. But if I buy it up here, it's tough for me to say I want the stop way down here because I have these current structures. So I think you probably do get stopped out by this one. Unfortunately, as I remember correctly, a couple people in the BSC got stopped out on this one because it is a good long. Higher lows still, breaks of high day. But this is one of those days you got to get the loss, be willing to get back in, and make it back. Although it was bullish clearly all day, might have stopped you out first, unfortunately. But the idea of buying it off that key level price still stands. I don't know how many more details we need to go into. We can do one more here. Go to the New York VWAP. Put that on at 9:30. Hopefully, I'm not moving too fast. I have a lot of faith that you guys can follow this and pick up on it. If not, you could rewind it, go rewatch it again. But New York VWAP is always going to be from 9:30 in black. We have the key VWAP retest here, another key VWAP retest of New York, but this time it's also the opening range high. So that's a nice bounce to catch this rip higher. This breakout of the open range high, you can catch a nice pop in that one. So anytime I'm making money, it's off of these key VWAPs. Normally when it's also paired with a key level of the opening range high in New York, opening range high in New York. This one's just an initial balance break, but it pays into power hour. I mean, yeah, you can make money in that. I'm not going to say you can't. But to be picky and find more specific trades with variables and stricter rules around it, I'm not too concerned with small little U's like that. It's not really a pullback. That's a pullback. This is a pullback. Nice. Buyers are taking a break. We're returning to a nice lower price. It's giving me a lower price. I don't want to have to buy it up here. I'd rather buy it down here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What am I drawing? Let's clear that up. I don't want to buy it up here. If I could buy it down here 30 minutes later, I'd rather do that because then I have greater risk reward to that upside rather than buying it here and saying, please keep ripping higher. Please just don't pull back. No, it's like we just did pull back. So I think we're done. And now we're ready to continue the trend. You see the difference in that of rather than hoping it just continues what it had been doing, say let's get back to what we had been doing and move back higher. Because the pullback is now finished, buyers are ready to get back in and move us higher. But you can see it's very simple. It's repeatable. It's I think it painted on every day. You got great probabilities except for one, which I don't think a lot of people made money on this Thursday. Super choppy. But just in general, if you use these key levels of the opening range high, initial balance high, a New York VWAP, a lower day VWAP, I think you'll find great success, as I do, as people in the BSC, ASFX TV streams, keeping it simple, following the strict plan of key level retests, followed by a break of lower day VWAP or bounce off a New York VWAP, all of those pretty things. And like I mentioned, all this is discussed further on ASFX TV in my Futures 2.0 course. So definitely go check that out. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what I talk about with my strategy. Plenty of more markups in that course as well, right? What do we go over 6 or 7 in this one? There's definitely way more in the course that you can screenshot, save. There's actually notes on it of what I like about a specific trade, what I don't love about this, why I would take this, why my stop goes here. Everything you can imagine, it's in the course for you. There should be no questions on anything I left out. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully, you guys can start trading off these key levels a little bit more clearer and have less FOMO of jumping into trades that aren't off key levels because you could see the abundance of trades that do present off your key levels that when it's not off a key level, you could say, you know what? I can see this working out, but I don't need it. I know I have greater probabilities off a key level and my time will come. It's not like you have to wait once a week to find these clean trades. We just went over 1 to 2 every day. So it's going to present. It's a matter of how much risk do you have left available? Did you burn yourself out wasting time on other trades that were kind of just floating? Or are you fresh, ready to go, and pounce on the ones that fit your plan? So I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have any questions or want further clarification, always feel free to reach out. DMs are always open, comments are always open. But yeah, appreciate you guys always tuning back in. Make sure to tune back in tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, every morning through Christmas morning. We're going to have a new video, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. I'll see you guys on the desk tomorrow morning.